What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Figure It Out! It's just not the same when you're by yourself. I'm Nate, and on today's first ever solo episode of Figure It Out, I'm going to be discussing the recent San Diego Comic-Con announcements for Mezco Toyz, the 1/12 collective line, and DC Multiverse. This is the start of our SDCC coverage for the week. We're going to be doing another episode, well, two more episodes of Figure It Out with the full crew for NECA and Black Series respectively, but Bucky and Justin don't collect DC Multiverse, they don't collect Mezco, so I'm doing this episode by myself because there's a ton of great announcements. I'm super hyped for the DC Multiverse line now, so let's jump into it. Let's start with the Mezco 2018 announcements. Of course, we got a great look at a ton of stuff that has already been shown off earlier this year at Toy Fair, so I'm not really going to recap any of that stuff because we talked about that previously. So with that being said, they announced some really interesting new figures for the 1/12 collective line, and we're going to start with some movie stuff, and that is the Warriors / the Baseball Furies from the movie The Warriors. Now, I'm not entirely familiar with the Warriors. I've seen it like one time, a really long time ago, back when that old PS2 game came out. That was the one and only time I've ever seen the Warriors. I would like to revisit it, but I just haven't over the years. So we're getting Ajax and Swan from the Warriors, and then the leader of the Baseball Furies, and just like another goon guy. They look great. I think the Warriors specifically look really awesome. I like the way the vest looks. I love the soft goods on them. Mezco is seemingly getting really down to nailing the clothing look, because as you know, most people like to complain about Mezco and say that the figures look like they're wearing pajamas and this and that, and I think the Warriors really look good. I think for the Baseball Furies, they nailed the look of the baseball outfit with the sort of loose-fitting aesthetic of it. They look great. I would assume, based on how it looks, it's either going to be a 4-pack or 2 2-packs. I don't think any details were released on that clearly, and that is coming fall of 2019. Next up in the realm of movie stuff, which this is a really obscure one. I've seen a lot of people confused about this online, and old Nadial Boy is here to relieve you of said confusion. So up next, we've got the Mezco 1/12 Robin Hood from the upcoming film Robin Hood, which stars Taron Egerton, who you guys might know from Kingsman. He played Eggsy. I watched the trailer for this movie. Doesn't look very good at all. So it's kind of weird that they reached out to Mezco, sort of a higher end line. Well, I guess Mezco could have reached out to them. But either way, this figure seems really odd that it's a new Robin Hood figure based on a new movie. And just judging on the price point of Mezco figures, I'm kind of confused as to who this is for. I'm sure there's big Robin Hood fans out there who are probably screaming at me right now through their computer screens, but this one just seems like an odd choice to me. It's cool for people that want it, and if the head sculpt, from what I've seen, it's kind of hard to see, you know, because everything's behind a glass case, but the likeness to Taron looks pretty good, so maybe we could do some like custom Mezco 1/12 Kingsman figures or something like that. That could be cool. And on the Marvel side, they've announced a couple new figures, which I'm absolutely excited about. First up, the thing I'm least familiar with, which we'll talk about, is from the Inhumans. We're getting a Black Bolt and Lockjaw, which seems to be a 2-pack, I would assume. Lockjaw is a very cute puppy, very adorable, but he's all plastic, of course. You can't really do much else with that besides giving him real fur, and I think that would just look hideous. It looks like he's got crazy articulation. Honestly, looks awesome. I would love to have just the Lockjaw, just because I'm not familiar with any of them, but he just looks like a really great figure. Same thing with Black Bolt. I really like the design of the costume. I know nothing about the character at all, but I really like the sort of little, like, I don't know what it's called. It's just like accents on the actual bodysuit. They did this for Black Bolt, and they're doing it for a lot of their figures. It seems to help alleviate the look of the of the pajamas. So it looks really good on Black Bolt. I'm excited about this. Looks like it's going to be a 2-pack, so it's probably going to be somewhere in the 180, 140 range, and that is coming out winter 2019. So probably expect that in 2020 or 2021. Then also on the Marvel side, we're getting a Magneto, which looks amazing. The classic to me, the red and purple costume, which is sort of like Mezco's take on that look. It's a little bit different. He also has the little like accents on the actual bodysuit to give him more of an armor look, which I think looks great. They posed him with 2 electromagnetic effects that look awesome, and also the thing that I'm most excited about is that it looks like he has a bendy cape, which is awesome. A bendy cape, ladies and gentlemen. I like Mezco, and the bendy wire things for like the Batman figures is a little hard to really like position well, at least in my opinion. Maybe I just need practice, but I think a bendy cape is awesome for Magneto. And then finally, what I'm most excited about is Ghost Rider. Looks awesome. I think the leather outfit looks really good. It looks nice and tight and form-fitting on the figure. Doesn't really look like pajamas to me. The pleathery material, despite it not really feeling the best and maybe having some concerns about how that's going to look in 5 to 10 years, it looks great on him. I like the way that the head is sculpted. It's like this skull is on the front part of the face, and then the flames and everything come up from the back of the head. So it looks like it's almost 2 separate pieces connected together, and I think that's going to look really great for a lot of background lighting and flame effects around that figure. There wasn't much shown in terms of accessories for him. He definitely had the chain, but no motorcycle in sight. I don't know if they said that there was going to be a motorcycle or not, but I would have to assume, being that they've done it for like Judge Dredd and stuff, I would say it's safe to assume there'll probably be a motorcycle somewhat following Ghost Rider, or Ghost Rider will have a deluxe version that comes with the bike at a later date, revealed at some other point. So overall, I think the Mezco 112 collective is looking great for the future. I'm very excited. I'm excited seeing all of the figures that were previously announced, like Jason and Michael and Cyclops and Cable. Those figures all look awesome. Can't wait to get my hands on them, and so I am very excited for the future of Mezco 112. Moving on to something I didn't think I was going to be talking about at all this year, because as a longtime DC fan, you know that the action figure struggle is real for the whole comic series, all of the movies, everything like that. We've had nothing but awful figures for a very long time, at least mass market stuff. DC Icons was pretty good for what it was, but of course that's now been canceled. And we've got DC Essentials right on the horizon, which sometime later this week I should have my Flash and Reverse Flash, so I'll be sure to get a review out as soon as possible for those figures. I know a lot of people online are looking at those and trying to figure out whether to jump into the Essentials or not. So back to the DC Multiverse, and this took me completely by surprise, because I was just like expecting the same old crap from Mattel that we've been getting for a long time for the Multiverse line, which has a couple great figures in it, but overall is just a terrible line with dated articulation, terrible paint apps, lackluster characters. But after this presentation, I am so happy, I am so excited. So let's just jump right into it. We've got 3 wave announcements, some upcoming sneak peek figures, and then we've also got a couple new figures for that movie premium figure line where we saw Val Kilmer Batman and the TV show version of The Flash from the 90s. So right off the bat, totally new articulation for a lot of their figures, which looks awesome. We're finally, it's taken us so long, but we can finally have peace when we realize that these new DC figures have ankle pivot. They're going to have the mid-thigh swivel. Absolutely insane. They're going to have wrist hinges, which is something that's missing on a lot of the Multiverse figures for some reason. I know this articulation is like, yeah, whatever. Marvel Legends has had that forever. All these other toy companies have got it. But for DC, we've just been sitting here screaming at Mattel, what are you doing? And now finally, it seems like they heard us. However, it still does look like a lot of the figures are going to have single jointed elbows, which is pretty disappointing. But I guess when it comes to Mattel, baby steps, this updated articulation, it looks like the ugly hips are finally gone, which thank God. Get those out of there. They do nothing for the figure at all, besides every DC Multiverse figure can do the splits really well. Which I don't know about you guys, but I'm not really trying to pose my Batman and Superman doing the splits. So this new articulation is a much welcome change to everything. So right off the bat, we've got an Aquaman movie figure line wave that consists of Aquaman, Mira, Orm, and Black Manta, and the Collect and Connect is Trench, and Trench looks amazing. He's got jaw articulation. I saw that little hinge there, and I was so excited. And now collecting movie figures is not really my thing, so I'm probably gonna skip on this, or at least just try and get Trench on his own, maybe if the price isn't too bad. But I'm noticing a theme with these new DC Multiverse waves. There's only 4 figures in a wave to collect and connect the Build-A-Figure piece, which is awesome, because as we know, sometimes with Marvel Legends you can have a 6 character Build-A-Figure or an 8 character Build-A-Figure, and that's just insane and it hurts the wallet. So I'm happy that these seem to be smaller waves, because that just helps out the collector. Smaller waves with better core characters I think is always a good thing. Next up is a Lex Luthor Power Armor Collect and Connect figure. And this wave absolutely looks amazing. We're going to have Vixen, the Ray. We're also going to have Rebirth Wonder Woman, which she looks really awesome. Her face looks kind of weird, but other than that, I'm pretty excited about that. And then a banger, Gotham by Gaslight Batman. And he's going to have removable knives, which is something that's pretty new for the DC side of things. Surprising to me. But he's going to have removable knives. He's going to have a cloth cape. It kind of looks like the shoulders are definitely plastic, so I'm thinking already that that's probably going to hinder articulation, but at least the other part of the cape is cloth, and I think that looks pretty good. I'm always down for some cloth goods. Definitely adds to the posability of a figure, especially something like Gotham by Gaslight Batman. You're going to want to have him posed like hunched over on like a rooftop or something. Very excited about that. Also has some alternate hands, which is something a little different you don't see too often in the Multiverse line. Then we're also going to have a Lobo wave, which is absolutely insane. Getting a brand new Lobo figure, which he looks great. He comes with 2 different heads, which is something I'm really excited about. Mattel seems to be going all in on the, hey guys, maybe we should actually include some accessories with our figures idea, which, hey, yeah, Mattel, great idea. And even to do that for the Build-A-Figure or the Collect and Connect is awesome. Definitely gives options, definitely makes collecting all of these figures way more desirable. So in that way, we're going to have Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, which is awesome. I'm so excited that they seem to be jumping into the Green Lantern core and giving us all of the characters. Hopefully we can get a new Guy Garner Green Lantern in the future. That would be my ideal Green Lantern. Love the leather jacket look. We're going to have Kingdom Come Superman in this wave as well, which looks pretty good. I've seen some people really upset that it doesn't look exactly like the Alex Ross painting, but I don't think that's exactly possible, just because, I mean, I'm wearing a shirt right now, you can see it. I just don't think that Alex Ross's paintings can ever truly translate to plastic, especially at the $20 price point. So I think it's just a little unrealistic for people to have those expectations. I think the figure looks pretty good myself. I'll definitely be picking it up. We're also getting Kid Flash, and then something that we saw, some of these figures were teased a while ago at like a panel, but we didn't get any in-person looks, so that's kind of why I'm talking about them. And that is Batman Beyond. So excited about this figure. He looks so good. Comes with 2 heads. Comes with the neutral face and the gritting face, which is awesome. I'm so happy that they're including that. especially after the debacle with the Mezco 112 Batman Beyond. I'm happy that at least I will be able to have a Batman Beyond figure in my collection in the near future, because it's a very nostalgic series for me. I grew up watching that, so I'll be happy to get a new figure with the updated articulation for Batman Beyond. I hope he comes with his wings. He wasn't shown with them, but I feel like that would be a pretty silly mistake on Mattel's part to just not include those. So I'm hoping in the future down the road, when we get a better look at him, he'll have the wings included. And then for the last wave that they showed off at San Diego Comic-Con, we're getting a Collect and Connect Emperor Joker from the Batman Ninja anime, which I haven't got a chance to check out. I don't know if it's good or bad, but the animation style is something I really don't like. I think it looks terrible, so I just didn't check it out. Let me know what you guys think though. Is it worth checking out? Because I'm a pretty big Batman fan, but I don't know, there's just something about it that kept me away. So this wave is actually going to have 6 figures in it, but that's okay because the Emperor Joker figure looks like an absolute beast, so I totally understand that. And this wave is going to have Nightwing, Black Canary, John Stewart Green Lantern, Wally West Flash, and Ninja Batman. And I think Ninja Batman and Emperor Joker both look really, really good for what they are. Seeing the designs from the anime and seeing them translated into a $20-ish figure, I think they did a really good job. And I know these are just prototypes, so they're obviously going to look better than the mass market figures, but all this stuff is really promising, at least to me, for the DC figures. I'm really excited that they're finally going to include some alternate heads, some alternate hands, some accessories, because a lot of these figures just came with Jack and shit, and Jack left town. And then so finally they showed off some sneak peeks of some stuff that's way down the pipeline. Later 2019 at the earliest was what I was gathering from everything, and that was a look at Mammoth, which looks awesome. He looks like a beast. And speaking of beasts, we also got a look at Beast Boy, which he's in a strange costume that I'm not too familiar with. I kind of would have liked a little bit more of a classic, maybe Teen Titans look. We're gonna have Flashpoint Aquaman, which looks awesome. I love the flat top look. It's so funny and like a weird, I don't know, it's not from the 90s, but it reminds me of the 90s, and that's what I really like about it. And then we're going to get Katana, which she looks really good. She's got this nice big shoulder pad, and I think the figure looks awesome. Katana is a pretty cool character, so I'm excited to see her again. And then finally we're getting a new Hawkgirl figure, and the wings on her look absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. I saw this figure and she kind of looks like she looks a little bit stylized in the animated series look for her. I'm not sure if it's just the eyes or whatever, but it looks like her look from Justice League, the animated series, and I think she just looks great. The brand new wings that they've sculpted look incredible, so I'm very excited to get my hands on her whenever she releases in the near future. Finally, on the premium figure line sort of deal here, we got a look at, well, a painted look at 2 new figures that we saw a couple months back, but they were unpainted models, and that's Danny DeVito as the Penguin from Batman Returns and Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. Now, interesting note, at least about Joker, is that he's going to have double jointed elbows, which looks awesome. I think the figure looks incredible. The prototype that they were showing off looks great. They've updated the figure. It's not from the Movie Masters wave, it's a completely new figure. So I'm excited about that. Looks really good. They've also sort of alluded to something else using a suit body, so I'm hoping maybe we're getting a Commissioner Gordon from Dark Knight, maybe some Gary Oldman likeness. But yeah, I was really impressed with the way Heath Ledger Joker looked. And then also Danny DeVito, I think looks really good. The head, it's okay, but I think the figure is going to be awesome. Looks like he's going to come with a decent amount of accessories. His coat is also cloth, and it looks like it's fitting and resting on him very well, so we're not going to have too many concerns with it sort of ballooning out. And then also we're going to get a Linda Carter Wonder Woman coming up soon. I think they said that this was the next figure to release in that line. I didn't pick up the Batman or the Flash because I think both of those figures look terrible, honestly, especially the Batman. The Batman is abysmal, and I'm someone who would like to own a Batman Forever figure, but that head sculpt is just unforgivable. So yeah, that was it from Mezco 1/12 Collective and the DC Multiverse figures. What did you guys think of their offerings? What are you excited about from either of those companies? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, to like and subscribe. All this week, later on this week, we're going to have a new Figure It Out episode about all of the Black Series announcements. We're going to have a Figure It Out episode about all of the NECA announcements. We're also going to be talking about all of the Scream Factory Blu-rays that were announced at San Diego Comic-Con. So stay tuned, because this week we're going all crazy with the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Of course, I'm Nate. You've been watching Figure It Out on Out of the Basement, and I will see you next time.